Hey guys, I'm Chris, and I just wanted to show you guys my collection. It's pretty big of my Jurassic Park movies. Now you might think, well, there's 3 movies, how many can there be? Let me just say, I have owned almost every version of this franchise except for the Laserdiscs. I did not have a Laserdisc player, and I didn't really know what a Laserdisc was when I was younger. I was pretty young at the time. So I'm just going to show you what I have and kind of my collection of the movie. Okay, this is the actual original VHS that I had back when I was little. I'll never forget my dad coming through the door and saying, "Chris, this is going to be an awesome movie." Flipped it over and he trying to convince me. He's like, "You know what? There's dancing dinosaurs in this movie." And it was with the Brachiosaurus when he's standing up. And I'm like, "Cool, dancing dinosaurs. That sounds awesome." I was terrified to say the least. I hated this movie so much when I was younger that you could see that we had to tape it up because I ripped the box. I ripped the box. I told one day I was cleaning up the house with my parents and I saw this VHS box, and I'm like, oh, it's that movie. You know, I'm going to show my dad, I'm going to rip that thing in half. And I did. I ripped it, and now, you know, it's funny because now it's my favorite movie. So this is my original Jurassic Park VHS, which started it all. Then, years later, I got a copy, more decent version of the movie, and it's in the, it's the same thing as this, just not really banged up. Years later, though, around the release of Jurassic Park 3, they wanted to re-release the first 2 movies in these collector edition VHS that came with 2 VHS. One was the movie and one was the making. That had an amazing documentary, and it was these movies, this version of the movie that really spoiled me as a moviegoer or a cinephile, because the documentary on here is so good and it covers everything about how movies are made and what it took to make this movie. And nowadays it seems like movies are kind of skimpy with the special features, and some movies they have some good stuff, but I was really spoiled with this because they really went out of their way to show how this movie was made, what it took, and this is really what this VHS right here is what made me become a movie fan and made me want to get into film. So I have a lot to owe to this VHS right here. And along with the VHS release, they also released a DVD version, and that was the whole point of this release, was to have Jurassic Park on DVD format. So this was one release, and of course this was the other. I don't have the Laserdisc like I said, but at the same time when they released this, they also released The Lost World on DVD and VHS. And again, the documentary on here is really cool. And if you ever get a chance to own this DVD, I think on the newest Blu-rays, they actually have they archived it and they put it in a special feature so you can actually watch the making of these two. It's very, very cool, and I highly recommend them. So these have the movies. So I have both sets of this, and I also have, again, the original Lost World Jurassic Park VHS cover, and if you remember it, it came with I think they're called lenticular cards, where it looks like the T-Rex is popping out of the logo, and if you flip it over, it has the raptors and everything like that. And I'll never forget getting this for the first time. I went to Best Buy with my dad, and it was the coolest thing. I remember being so excited for this movie as opposed to this movie, because when this movie came out, I was about 7 or 8, and I was able to appreciate it so much more. And when this came out, I was 3 or 4 years old, and I was just so terrified. So those are my collection of the first 2 movies. And then there's Jurassic Park 3. I have both versions, VHS and DVD. Both came out at the same time. The documentary on here is really interesting and not as good as the first 2, but still very, very good. I'm not as big of a fan of the third movie as I am with the first 2, because I think the first one's amazing. The second one I think is just as good as the first. The third one I felt was lacking. That's why I don't have as many versions of this one, and I don't think there was as many versions of this released, because after this, really all the movies were bundled in one pack. Then years later, they decided to release a DVD pack that had all 3 movies in one collection. They call it the Franchise Collection, the Adventure Pack. And this is really cool. This is probably one of my favorite ones and one of my favorite packaging that they have for this. It comes with a cool door set and it has the logo on the front. And it actually opens up, and you see they Photoshop the different scenes of the dinosaurs. They made it look like one jungle scenery. And this opens up and it just has like a digipack with all the movies, all 3 movies. And these are the same exact DVDs that I showed earlier. They're just in a different packaging format. So this is the same special features, same movie specs, same everything as the DVD counterparts that were released a few years earlier. But it's still really cool, and if you didn't have the movies, this is a really cool buy. And of course, because I was a fan, I just had to have it because I love the packaging, and it just looked freaking cool. And just recently, Universal Studios released Jurassic Park on Blu-ray, and this is a special edition tin case that came out at Best Buy. And if you open this up, it just simply has the movies in their digital copy, and it has all new features. It has, again, the original DVD features that came with the original DVDs, plus new stuff. So they have interviews with Joe Johnston, Steven Spielberg, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, the cast and crew. It's really cool. And really the reason why I made this video was to show you guys this. This is probably one of my favorite items that I actually own. It's one of the coolest pieces of memorabilia that I think has ever come out. For a Jurassic Park fan, I mean, it's really, really cool. This came out when Jurassic Park 1 and 2 were released on DVD. This was a special edition box set, and I remember bugging the heck out of my parents to get it, and I remember eventually getting it for Christmas. What is inside of here is really cool. This opens up like this, and it houses both the first two movies in DVD, and then inside we have lithographs, which are basically like nicely printed out HD looking screen caps that you can frame. I've never framed them. They're of the first two movies, so you have different screens and various scenes and stuff like that from the first two movies. And it comes with a certificate of authenticity as well. That's one thing. It also comes with these guys, which are very cool. It comes with a screenshot, and it also comes with which movie it is in the year, and it comes with a little piece, a little square of film that with the scene that it depicts in the picture over here. And then also they have one for the second movie as well. And this guy actually didn't come with the set. I actually got this years later, but it's the whole cast and crew of Jurassic Park, the first movie, and I have their signatures on here, and I keep it in here for safekeeping. But I have Sam Neill, I have Jeff Goldblum, I got Laura Dern, everyone on here. If that wasn't enough, they give you the soundtracks, the amazing soundtracks from the first two movies, done and orchestrated by John Williams. He does pretty much every Steven Spielberg movie. The soundtracks are amazing, and they have the same cover as the DVDs. So those are in there as well, and it's just an amazing package, and this is really one of my favorite things that I do own, and the box is just completely cool. So that is my VHS, DVD, Blu-ray collection of Jurassic Park. Again, I have let's just say I have a lot of them. So you guys can leave video responses or comments down below of memories that you have when you first saw Jurassic Park, or if you got it on VHS, or the first time you ever saw it was on Blu-ray or DVD. Just leave that down below. Again, I'm Chris, and you've just been Chris Cross. Peace out.